Hey everybody, welcome to I'm Not Crying, You're Crying, the show about anything and everything because it's our show. Today I'm here with Jay.
Hi guys.
And Jiz, Eeyore, Juan,
hey,
Intelligence, Zit. And I'm Sean. And I'm Sean. And this is our theme music.
Go fuck yourself. You fucking moron. You go fuck yourself.
Hey everybody, welcome back to I'm Not Crying, You're Crying, Season 6, Episode 8. One episode away from the penultimate episode. Again, I'm here with Jiz, who's going to interrupt. He's going to interrupt, is he? And Jay. And Jay. And yes, we are one episode away from the penultimate episode.
Penultimate.
Hey,
Yay.
look at that. There he goes. Yeah. Gentlemen, how's it going? How are you doing this afternoon? This evening? It's nighttime.
I am scared.
Why? What are you scared of?
Governor declared a state of emergency yesterday. Monkeypox is here. We need to shut down again.
What is monkeypox, Juan?
Yeah, what exactly?
Really bad acne that hurts. I don't know. I don't know, but he did declare a state of emergency, and what I was looking at, I'm like, oh shit, what does this mean? Essentially, if I skimmed the article correctly, it just says that we're cooperating and seeking help from federal agencies to make sure we have enough vaccines and resources to treat people. But I believe there's about 800 cases already reported in California of monkeypox.
800? 800.
800, I believe.
In California?
Yes.
In the whole state of California? 800?
No, in the city of California. Yeah, in the state of California.
800. Wow. That seems
so
like a little.
It does in comparison how many people we have living in the state of California. But I'm guess that they're being extremely proactive given what happened with COVID. I mean, even with COVID, we were about to jump back on a mass mandate in LA County on July 29th. So people don't realize that the apocalypse is here and we're just getting the plagues.
What are some of the symptoms of monkeypox, Juan?
I don't know. I just know it's like really bad, painful blisters on your skin, lesions, and that's about it. But I know it does tend to affect minorities a lot more.
Oh my God!
Well, same thing with COVID. Remember that blacks and Hispanics, we had the bigger risk of getting it, and then also low income families. So I was, I guess, double screwed.
Oh my God, this racist disease.
It's like crack. It's like crack.
That's the only time I didn't eat tacos, when I was afraid of getting the disease. I didn't want to tip off the hat that my name was Juan.
So Juan, I looked up the symptoms for monkeypox. You want to know what they are?
I want to know, do you get it after foreplay with a monkey, or how do you get monkeypox?
You said foreplay with a monkey?
Yes, foreplay with a monkey.
So that's a specific activity with a monkey.
What
Okay,
exactly
playing Parcheesi with a monkey.
You want to tease the monkey.
What exactly is foreplay with a monkey?
That's when one of the participants is more selfish than the other, less selfish than the other.
Wait, do you even know what foreplay is?
Yes.
Does
That's
your
when
wife
we
know what
rolled double sixes on the dice and get to advance go without collecting.
What?
Artificial intelligence is kind of like letting stuff out of his mouth. Juan, some of the symptoms of monkeypox are spontaneous bursts of erratic thoughts. One of them in specific, which is weird. It's very, very weird. One of them is an irrational love of circuses.
I do love circuses. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What about ones that have monkeys named Bubbles?
Yeah. And it's funny. It also says here that it must also be consensual.
Consensual, yeah.
So,
does it say anything about being irrationally upset when you call Bubbles a monkey when he's an ape?
You know what? No, but I'm sure if I look deeper into this article, it will tell me that. But Juan, what I'm hearing is that you have monkeypox.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yes.
Yeah, you have monkeypox so far up your butt.
Yeah, man. Is it from the foreplay?
Yes, it is. I played Naked Twister with Bubbles the other night, and he may have slipped accidentally
into your mouth.
Yes.
Did he spit in your mouth first?
No, because he got jealous that I spat in both of your guys' mouth first. This is taken a completely twist.
This is what.
This was not 100% my fault.
It was.
No, he's a motherfucker. He's the one that came and attacked me by saying these are the symptoms of monkeypox. Juan this, Juan that, Juan that.
Okay, no one attacked you. He just asked. He just told you what the symptoms were.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
What
I
are
don't
the
really.
real
How did I
symptoms?
attack you? I mean, Juan. Just before we move on, I asked, how are you guys doing, and you immediately answered with, "There's a state of emergency."
No, I said scared. I said scared because I want to add to the paranoia because I am scared.
So you did this to yourself, and you should not be angry.
Out of the many answers you could have answered,
for somebody that's tinfoily and paranoid about everything in life, I'm surprised you're not paranoid about monkeypox, Jay.
Well, first of all, no one brought up monkeypox until you did.
Yes, you are the one.
No, and again, that's why I'm surprised why you didn't bring it up. I would have thought that's something you're like worried about and walking around in a fucking hazmat suit by now.
Juan, I'm also poor and I have other things to worry about.
Yeah, he has bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, monkeypox is probably the least of my problems right now.
Until you contract it.
Well, then that's something I'll have to deal with when I get it, you know?
Yeah, and here's, Jay, if you want to know how you would know if you possibly contracted monkeypox, is that some of the
blisters?
Okay, Juan, do you want to just read the symptoms, or what do you like? What's the point of asking me?
I asked you like 5 minutes ago, asshole.
Yes, but you've been again spurting erratic thoughts. One of the things on here, incoherent erratic thoughts. But anyway, the real symptoms are fever, swollen lymph nodes, and muscle aches and chills, and also a newly formed rash.
That's like the common cold, though, and you get chills.
Yeah, so I feel like there may be a little conflation amongst people with COVID who are now getting COVID in like 2022, with people who get monkeypox if they don't get a rash, because a rash is one of the symptoms, but that's not necessarily that is a defining characteristic of this thing, but it's not the thing that you may experience first.
Does it have explosive diarrhea like COVID?
What?
Like COVID, one of the symptoms was the diarrhea, vomiting, chills. Does it have?
That wasn't a symptom of COVID.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the original symptoms reported.
Well, when they didn't know much about COVID,
and it still continued to be one of them.
I think the main symptoms was fever, loss of taste and smell.
Yeah. I think the ones which like made those, like, if you can't taste anything, if you have a fever and you can't taste shit, you got COVID. That is like, that's the thing. But, before we get too far deep into this whole thing, Juan, because you did this, Jizz, the Juan Intelligent Zit robot.
Fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle ache, headache, new loss of taste, of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, diarrhea.
You said explosive diarrhea.
Any diarrhea is explosive to me.
I don't think you understand what explosive diarrhea means.
Oh yeah,
my toilet does. Don't
Juan,
ever question.
You should apologize. You should apologize, Juan, for spouting dirty, filthy lies.
I apologize.
Oh, you want to know who else apologized insincerely?
I don't think it was insincere.
Well,
those tears were well-trained actor tears.
Juan, who are we talking about?
My BFF, William.
Yeah. Did you guys see, I linked it in the show notes, but did you guys see the Will Smith video? It was like a 5-minute video of him kind of apologizing for a variety of things.
Answering questions.
But yes, answering questions, and chief among them was an apology, which Jay, I sent Juan a text about this because he sent it out, I think via TikTok. And but Jay, we were right. We were right that there's a media person who wrote that social media apology, because why come out and apologize?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't. It's just one of those things that had to happen. Like he needed to cover his tracks, and he needed to make a statement as soon as possible because he fucked up. You know?
Yeah. And did you guys have a chance to watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. After I saw the apology and the tears, and you know how big of a Will Smith fan I am, I was disappointed and upset, and I didn't watch the rest.
Why? Wait, why were you disappointed and upset that he...
Disappointed because why now? How many months since the incident? And I get it that he said that he's done a lot of thinking and searching and shit like that, but why now?
Well, I think... I don't know why now. I mean, I think obviously he has said, I think it was a video that came out not that long after the whole thing had happened, that like social media is his bread and butter, and I feel like he might have been losing ground on that. So what did he do?
He hadn't posted anything since the incident, correct?
Well, there you go. So how do you?
The thing is, the whole bread and butter thing, that was way before the incident with Will Smith. That was the whole Jada and him thing where he was getting upset and Jada was kind of being depicted as a jerk about it. But like, did he do this because he sincerely wanted to apologize, or because he realized, hey, my name isn't in the headlines anymore. Let's remind people that I'm here and bring it back up. Or I just don't understand why now. I don't understand why.
Well, he's probably losing jobs, you know? And this is a strategy from maybe his PR representative to go, hey, you really should make a statement. You should make an apology, you know?
Yeah, he said the reason why one of the questions was, why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? And he said, and I quote, I was fogged out by then.
Mm-hmm. He was angry.
He was angry, but that doesn't, and he goes on later to say that doesn't make it right, and he should have still apologized. But I think he chooses to apologize now, Juan, because to Jay's point, he has lost jobs and he's no longer going to be nominated. And if social media is his bread and butter, whether it was said after the slap, during the slap, before the slap, the fact of the matter is that he has to keep that engine going. And the slap thing is the gasoline that's going to do it, and it may keep it going for a little bit longer. Now, the truth of the matter is that this is a very salacious clip because it's only 5 minutes and deals basically specifically with the slap and a few other questions. Like one of the other things he answers here is like, after Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? And I can't remember exactly what his answer was, but he's like, no, I did this on my own, after.
I just saw a meme about that where it had Will Smith said, no, Jada had nothing to do with it. And then on the bottom, it was Jada pointing the camera at him.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I have a question. He also brings up an apology to not just Chris Rock, but Chris Rock's mom. What was the interview that she did, and what did she say?
I don't know, and I didn't have the time to look it up. But he apologizes to two members of the Rock family. Tony Rock, who apparently was a good friend of his. And he apologized to his mom and did an interview basically saying, hey, this motherfucker slapped my son, as any mother would do. So the fact of the matter is that, he made this apology. I think the fact that it's been titled, it's been a minute, and he got on there and answered all these questions. That I don't know who cares about this anymore. Like, obviously, there's a little bit of news traction here, but I'm just interested, Juan, because you like Will Smith. You read his book. You were basically jacking his dick that entire time we were talking about it. So, from your perspective, as someone who looks up to, respects him, read his book, and understands that he's a flawed human being and sees him as human, how do you feel about him doing this apology? Do you feel like it's a little bit too late? Do you feel like it doesn't matter? Do you think he should have?
I honestly... in all honesty, I don't think he should have done it. I think it comes out as fake. It comes out of, hey, I'm tired of waiting in the wings. Let me bring up my name again because no press is bad press. It'll get some traction. I honestly think if he was truly sorry, he would have done what he intended or what he kind of led to believe is wait for Chris Rock to be ready to talk about it. Because he mentions that in his apology, that he's reached out to Chris Rock and that Chris said, no, I'm not ready to talk about it, motherfucker. Wait until I'm ready.
Well,
go ahead.
Specifically, he's not ready to talk about it with him because I think Dave Chappelle did a set shortly after where they made fun of it, and Chris Rock was there.
Yeah,
and Chris Rock was there.
It was Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, and Kevin Hart.
Yeah, he made light of it there. He also made light of it on another stand-up show I think Chris Rock did shortly after that. So the fact of the matter is that Chris Rock, he doesn't want to talk about it. However, he doesn't want to talk about it with him.
No, he hasn't gone full ham like he could as a comedian. I think he's made a couple of quips here and there. I think his brother has been a little bit more vocal than Chris Rock, because the latest one was where Kevin Hart, as a joke, he bought fucking Chris Rock a goat, and I think the goat's name was Will Smith, and it was Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart, and both Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock and Kevin Hart kind of poked fun of it. But the other thing I wanted to point out,
I think that whole scenario, Dave Chappelle opened for Kevin Hart because his shows got canceled by the theaters because they didn't want to support his controversial. Yeah. So a lot of his shows have been starting to get canceled. So he opened for Kevin Hart, and then I think that's when Kevin Hart had a goat for Chris Rock.
And then here's the other thing. I don't know if you follow Kevin Hart much, but he has a show called
Heart to Heart.
Heart to Heart, and he had Chris Rock on it, and it's almost like a toss away comment, but at one point they make another quick quip, and Chris Rock goes, "Oh, you don't make fun of other people's wives. I've learned that."
Well, I don't think Chris Rock wants to discuss it publicly. Like it's not something that's easy to discuss. Yeah, like some dude just slapped the shit out of me in front of everyone, on national television. I'm not going to be like, hey, let's discuss this, like.
Yeah.
And the other thing I probably didn't take in consideration is how humble Chris Rock is, apparently, that people need to remind them that he's Chris Mother Effin' Rock. Like, what's her name? Wanda Sykes? Is that her name? Jay?
The host of the Oscars. There's lots of female comedians.
The host of the Oscars, Wanda.
Amy Schumer?
No, the other one, Wanda Sykes, right?
Wanda Sykes?
Yes. She used to work for Chris Rock. She got a good start with Chris Rock, and she was upset about how that whole scenario happened, and then I think it was on Heart to Heart, but Wanda sometimes has to remind like Chris Rock like who he effing is. He's actually not just good at his craft, but he's famous, he's powerful in his thing. And honestly, I lost my train of track. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
You lost your train of track, huh? Well, hey, we had a good run there. So choo choo, train of track. That's it.
Derailed.
So Juan, yeah. So I think the point you're trying to make, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, which is that you are saying that Chris Rock is very humble and that he probably is like not thinking of this as large of a situation as it probably could be. And the second thing that Jay is saying, which is that, he wants to deal with it like behind closed doors because what man wants to go on stage and basically say like he got slapped in front of everybody? So he kind of wants to handle it, without there being any public like to do about it, which is also fair, I think.
I don't think it's a matter of being humble. I think it's more of like having a bruised ego, because this is something where it's emasculating, like it's something where you're like you think about it, like if some dude slapped you like that in front of a group of people, you're thinking about like doing terrible things to this guy, like you're not really like, I'm just gonna hang back and not let it bother me. No, that shit bothers you. If you're a man, That shit would bother the shit out of me.
As somebody that's been slapped a couple times, you're absolutely right. It does bother. And
you think that Chris Rock goes to parties with his friends and he's like, keep my drink out of your hand, otherwise I'll either walk up and slap him. They just kind of whatever reason.
Oh yeah, that's the coping mechanism that he's using. He's diffusing all of that tension that he has and all this anger with humor.
Yeah, but it's I think I don't know, man. I think Juan, I guess to Jay's point, it could be a little bit of bruised ego. So he's handling it humbly because, again, because he's the guy that got slapped. He's the guy that got slapped. But before we move on to the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, there's also the last question here, Juan. And I'm kind of curious how you feel about this. Because the question is, what would you say to people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? Now, did you hear him answer that question?
I did not. What was the answer?
Ultimately, go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
No, I remember he said that disappointing people is his weakness.
No,
like
he
that, right?
did. He did say something like that
trauma.
in his book too.
It's his trauma.
Yeah.
It's his trauma. Yeah.
Yeah, he's always been afraid of letting people down and not being enough, according to his book. So I get that's his weakness, but ultimately he's fucking human. And one of the things that made me respect him, aside that he's a talented motherfucker, is how realistic and flawed he portrayed himself in his book that made people sympathize and connect with him. Now, the fact that he says he's reiterating the fact that that's one of his flaws and one of his fears of letting people down. At this point, you got to tell him you're fucking human. It's bound to happen. Get over it. Get fucking over it. You're not superhuman. It's part of life. I'm sorry I disappointed you, but I slipped like anybody else.
You act like he was a victim.
No, he's not a victim. He's not a victim.
It sounds like, but again, I guess before you jump down my throat, I understand that you also like Will Smith a lot,
I like his story. I like his background. I like his struggle in life. Maybe he is a victim in his relationship. Maybe he's not. I'm not an expert, but the fact is he's fucking human. Unfortunately, as a human, you're gonna let your emotions get the best out of you. I myself, and you know this, Sean, I've grown and developed a lot as a person, but in my younger years, how many times did I lose my shit over the dumbest things? Weren't you the one that slowed down the vehicle so I could try to start a fight with a trucker? Yeah,
that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
To me.
But you're making it seem like because he's Will Smith, he gets a pass. Like if it were somebody not Will Smith, like if it was me, I would not hear the end of it, and they wouldn't hold me to the same standards. They would go, you're in the wrong. You're a terrible person. You did something that is unforgivable. But Will Smith can get a pass because he's Will Smith.
I hate
if you take away everything that makes Will Smith, and then just see him as a guy who slapped another guy. Would you still be as forgiving?
I hate to tell you this, Jay, but nobody cares about us. If it would have been us that did this, a month, a week, a couple days after the slap, nobody would have talked about it. Maybe a year from now, somebody may be, hey, weren't you the fucker that slapped so-and-so at an award show? Yeah, but because Will Smith is in the limelight, he's in the spotlight, people hold him to a different standard. But if he was a nobody that did this, slapped a random person on the street, hey, he would have gone to jail. But let's say he slapped a friend because Chris Rock and him at some point were friends. It would have meant either the end of that friendship or later on they get over it and they're having a couple drinks about it and bygones be bygones.
Okay.
Yeah.
When OJ was acquitted the first time,
again, another famous person.
People were happy They were happy, and it was only years later where people started to think he might have just killed these people. You know, like
it's not a might
the
have.
juice
He
might
did.
have killed some people.
And his celebrity image took a plummet. You know, and I feel
It
like
did,
when people start looking at this situation objectively and looking at what he did to Chris Rock, and once Chris Rock starts talking about this publicly, I think Will Smith is his popularity is gonna plummet. You know.
Yeah,
His
it's gonna
popularity
take another kind of
plummeted right now.
nosedive.
Yeah, but it's gonna get worse.
I don't.
I'm sure that's one of the reasons why he came out with this apology, because he knows this shit is gonna hurt his career.
Listen,
Yeah.
if he has a good money manager, he probably doesn't have to work for the rest of his life. He probably has enough.
Yeah, but
money.
it's not about money. It's about his legacy.
Yeah, it's
That's very true.
it's about what happens, years from now. Like what's, what is Will Smith going to do to make sure that he's remembered in a positive
So
light?
here's my question.
To move on a little.
Robert Downey Jr. Blow, prostitution. Does anybody really remember that anymore?
Yes.
No, really,
Yeah.
really.
Anybody who's everybody.
No, really. How many people?
Yes.
How many people really judge him by that?
is.
Don't give me horse shit and tell me it's filet mignon. Because the fact of the matter is, he hit rock bottom. He was on the outs with Hollywood, being one of the main fucking celebrity heartthrobs. He was in and out of rehab, and then suddenly he gets his jump start again with Iron Man, and people forget that he had his issues in the past. Look at fucking British guy too. What's his name from About a Boy?
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
The difference between these two is that Will Smith was at a precipice, right? And Robert Downey Jr. was already in the gutter, right? So he climbed this mountain, and Will Smith just plummeted into
Eddie
it,
Murphy.
Yeah,
right?
it the difference between Will Smith and Robert Downey Jr. is time. Like, like Robert Downey Jr. was convicted of drugs and alcohol, but that was years ago, and he's had time to rebuild his image. This slap just happened for Will Smith.
It's true. Yeah. So he has a couple years, and he's still kind of tumbling. Cause again, I think this apology is a little too far, too little, too late.
That I agree with. I think he did it to bring his name back in the spotlight.
But here's the thing. It's also not just him. It's Chris Rock that's also fighting for his legacy. He doesn't want to be the bitch that got slapped at the Oscars.
That's also true.
He's going to talk
That's
about
also
this
true.
Does
shit.
That's
anybody
also
really
true.
see him like that?
Well, I mean, if you just watch it.
No.
Like,
Here's the fact of the matter that I know, at least anytime they've talked about the slap that was heard across the world, nobody thinks he's the bitch.
nobody publicly says
I know, but
he was the bitch.
Yeah.
But there's probably some people out there that are like, he should have fucking went after him.
Yeah.
You know,
So
like
how many people think
But,
that he's a
well,
bitch,
no.
and how many people think that he took the high road?
Juan, there's lots of people who will go out on stage and go, he took the high road. He's a distinguished gentleman for not doing anything. But I guarantee you, when he's sitting with his boys in his backyard and they're drinking beers or sipping whiskey, he goes, "Hey man, you like, you're a bitch for letting him slap you, right?" You know what I mean? That's like,
And if I was Chris Rock and I was
because.
paying the bill for those motherfucking boys, guess who just got kicked out of the social group?
But the thing is, he's like, because his friends are like, "I wish a motherfucker would," and like, because what is he supposed to do? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think to Jay's point, publicly everyone's giving him kudos, but like around his little like campfire, where the fuck he has gone in his backyard, they talk shit. Yeah. They talk shit.
Oh yeah. I'm sure of it. Yeah. I mean, that's probably where a lot of the jokes are going to come from him riffing with his friends and them calling him a little bitch, and like,
yeah.
And then he's gonna.
And they probably mean it out of love, but
so does it count?
Does what count?
Does it count if it's your friends, your close personal friends, your group of boys? Because here's the thing: slap or slap. If they were friends, they would probably josh him here and there.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How many times have we made fun of you?
And I will fucking kill you anytime I see you. And you know that.
Jizz.
No, but that's. I mean, we've known each other for how long? We've been a close group of friends. Now, if this was a random stranger coming up to you talking shit about me, or
a random person,
no, not a random person, but any other person, doesn't it get to the point where you're almost like the protective brother? Like, no, wait, motherfucker, it's okay for me to call him Jizz, but you don't call him Jizz.
I'll let anybody call you Jizz.
Go fuck yourself.
I'll take a bullet for you, Juan, but I won't take a dick. I won't take a dick.
I mean, yeah, of course you're gonna defend your boys, but like
same thing with Chris Rock. Somebody, let's say Sean goes up and goes, "Motherfucker, you were a bitch." You don't think Big Bubba in the back is gonna come out and put Sean in his place and slap him and be like, "Who's the bitch now, motherfucker?"
I mean,
probably,
sure,
but I mean, like, but not in public.
Yeah, I mean,
not with cameras around where he could get sued.
Yeah. It'll be caught on a grainy Walmart cam at like 2 a.m, but not anywhere on, like not anywhere at the fucking Oscars. You know what I mean? Like, what you know, we're circling the
drain,
the topic here.
The drain.
I did want. What's that?
We're circling the drain.
Circling the drain. Well, but Juan, I will ask you about another celebrity who's currently in hot water right now, and maybe you're familiar with them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I hope you're not saying Shakira because she's Hispanic. You motherfucker.
We've already proven that ask, don't tell, don't tell, don't tell, don't tell.
Yeah, it's Shakira. Shakira is facing possibly
tax evasion.
An 8-year prison
in what
sentence
country?
for tax evasion. In Spain.
Did she live in Spain?
Like Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, but not in the U.S.
Yeah, so I mean, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the video or look anything up, but essentially what happened was that the Spanish government is looking to collect about 15 million in taxes from Shakira because they say that she's evaded her taxes from 2012 to 2014, and then. And because they're trying to prosecute her, they're seeking $24 million in damages. So a $24 million fine.
Does she live in Spain or
all in? So she did live in Spain for a little while, but she's claiming between that time she actually lived in the Bahamas. In the Bahamas. So she's saying, well, no, first of all, you should know that. They said, hey, if you want to settle, we can settle for like $17 million. And Shakira said, fuck you guys. We're going to court because I know that I'm fucking innocent. Which I think is, I kind of like, when I heard it, I was like, well, why the fuck is she going to court over it? She could have just settled it. Because I almost feel like, and let me ask you guys, after hearing that, do you think that she, is truly innocent and did this out of like righteous like anger to be like, fuck you guys, I'm going to clear my good name?
And then if anything is the way I think it is, then she'll probably countersue and be like, you wasted my time. You're going to pay for my uber expensive lawyer fees, and you're going to pay for punitive damages for defaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just find it, and I thought it was incredibly funny that she's like, no, fuck you guys. We're going to go to court.
Well, I mean, $17 million is still a lot of money.
It is. And I was thinking, like, does Shakira even have $17 million? But as
she is loaded, man. And then she just got divorced from somebody rich. So I'm pretty sure she's going to get some money from that. Correct?
Are you her financial advisor?
Yes. Would you like my business card after the show?
Also, I mean, what is Shakira's net worth?
I'm sure you're Googling it right now because I hear the click clack of your keyboard. So why don't you tell us, Sean? I
mean, you're the one who seems to be our financial advisor. I was hoping you would be able to tell us.
I have an NDA, so I'm sorry, I can't disclose that.
Oh, but you can disclose that you know how loaded she is?
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm not providing a accurate sum. She is this loaded.
This loaded, just like Jizz. Want intelligence. So Shakira's net worth is about $350 million
There you go,
according
motherfucker, shitload.
according to Google. And yes, they are trying to get her to settle for $17 million, and she's going to go to court and fight that. Now, I don't know how much it costs to hire lawyers that will be good enough to
By the government?
to fight. Yeah, to fight the government to prove your innocence. But I mean, let me ask you: do you think that let's say she's guilty? Do you think she'll actually see jail time? We just talked about this, I think, in the last episode.
No.
I mean, if she does, it's probably like a minimal security type of jail. It won't be terrible.
I think that if at any point, if it does go to court and the lawyers think that they're going to lose, I think they will do a sidebar and settle instead of $17 million, because that ship has sailed when court started. It would be $25 million.
Well, I mean, that's kind of that's the fine.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to fine her right now. So, I mean, all in, according to this article from Yahoo Money, she would be $39.5 million lost in justice alone before court fees and before lawyer fees and stuff like that.
Which, given her net worth, it's probably a drop in the bucket. But I think if she's willing to go to court for it, it's not because she's guilty, but because she's innocent and she's being dragged into it. At first, without reading the article, I thought it was one of those things where she had a business agent and she was under the impression that everything was being paid when it wasn't.
No, according to this article I'm looking at right now, she actually lived in Spain for 50 days out of 365 days. And so you have to live there for more than 50 days. And she was there for less than that in Spain. And I think she has like records and documents to prove that. And if she can't prove that, then they're just trying to gouge her to give the country money, because like it would be in the millions. And again, I kind of feel like it's a little bit of like self-righteous like anger. Like, no, fuck you guys. Fine, let's go to fucking court. Waste my time. I dare you, because I'm about to make you look stupid.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to charge her that much money for just living 50 days in Spain?
Fuck.
Yeah.
That. Well, no, I know for a fact that Spain does have like strict fucking immigration laws. Like I knew of somebody that had gone, I think on a student visa to Spain and then let it expired and lived there illegally and worked there illegally because they couldn't get a work visa. But apparently they were pretty strict on obtaining it. But yet again, she's Shakira. I'm sure she could have hired some lawyers and said, hey, get me this type of visa.
But I mean, but even then, if she wasn't physically there, she can prove she had another resident. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about like the politics or the tax law, especially. I know nothing about the tax law in fucking California. So
that's why you have H&R Block.
Yeah, I don't think they know anything about tax law, if I'm being absolutely honest. But
yeah, they tricked me into that whole peace of mind shit, and I have to pay extra.
yeah. They're just like, hey, you want peace of mind? I'm like, bro, you're supposed to be the expert here. Why would I even need peace of mind if you're the expert? So God forbid I even talk about tax law in a whole nother country. But I just find for this to be the most salacious thing to come out about Shakira says a lot about what she does outside off stage, and to be in the midst of a divorce, no matter how nasty or entangled all of her estates are, to have this be the thing that surfaces again, I think it speaks a lot about her character outside of her performance or her performing on stage. I just find it very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean I haven't heard of Shakira news in years, really.
And you know what? The thing I hear the most about Shakira is like, can you believe she's only 45? She doesn't look 45. And I think she had just did the Super Bowl, and they're like, can you believe Shakira's 45? Like that's the headline. Shakira 45, still got it.
45 is not old.
I know, but apparently, according to the fucking media, that's like Shakira should be in a nursing home at this point.
That's young culture, like they think 30
10-year-olds.
They think 36 is old.
Oh, that's true. That's very, very true. Little do they know. The next thing, which brings into my next set of topics, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer. Have you guys seen this trailer yet?
I saw it for the show, and I think I've expressed my confusion.
Oh, you don't understand black culture, or
No, I after I guess it aired during Comic-Con, correct?
Yeah.
After it aired, I guess people were up in arms about it, and this is how disconnected I've become a little bit about the MCU. But I didn't understand why they were up in arms. At first I thought it was because they didn't pay enough tribute to Boswick.
Who's Boswick?
Yeah, who's Bosworth?
Black Panther. What's his name?
Oh, I was gonna. Yeah, he's the
you
guy
mean
from
Chadwick
Say it again.
Chadwick Boseman?
How do you pronounce it again?
Chadworth Bosman. Chadworth Bos person. T'Challa. T'Challa.
King T'Challa.
T'Challa. You know,
Well,
I watched
Bosman.
I watched Trevor Noah's reaction to the
Yeah.
Black Panther, and he said the best thing. He said, black people were so excited for the Black Panther trailer. They were excited. They were just as excited as like white people were for like a new menu on like Trader Joe's or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Black Panther is it's a cultural staple, at least in the black community. It's a black-led superhero film. It's a black-led cast, black director, who is inner city youth, born and raised in Oakland, Ryan Coogler. So who's done other things like Fruitvale Station and
Creed.
I want to say in Creed, yeah. So Ryan Coogler has done lots of things, and one of the things he did was bring Black Panther to life in a way that was very organic to the black community. Now, aside from that, Black Panther was one of Marvel's billion-dollar grossing films, which is then there's a short list of Marvel films that are in the billion-dollar range, although like Avengers Infinity War, like each Avengers movie is its own billion-dollar like little franchise. Everything outside of that is in the 800, 900 millions. I think Spider-Man just crossed in there too. But to say that Black Panther was a phenomenon is to kind of not do it justice. So enter Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer that just dropped at Comic-Con, where apparently Kevin Feige had done a really good job of kind of presenting it because they had dances and all kinds of stuff going on stage. But the controversy here is that, you know, if you remember, Juan, there was like, maybe you can count the number of white people on your hand and in Black Panther, which was Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis, who I think is South African, I think in real life, or he's some kind of English. But my point is that you can count them on your hand. Now there is one Hispanic guy and a bunch of blue people, and people are kind of up in arms about it. And a lot of it has to do with the visuals that are being connected to Atlantis. No, is it Atlantis, Jay? Oh my God.
Yeah.
And Atlantis.
Namor.
Yeah, and Namor and the people of Atlantis, because it visualizes what I assume on, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is like Aztec, Inca, warrior, you know, the guy that's on those blankets that
I would like
find
to say the Panaderia calendar.
I don't know what that means. Please, for people who don't speak SAP.
It is
secondary audio programming.
It is very common knowledge when you go to like a Hispanic Mexican grocery store, panaderia, a bakery. They at the end of the year or at the beginning of the new year, they give away calendars, and it's the very traditional, stereotypical calendar of the Aztec warrior carrying the dead Aztec princess in a traditional Aztec garment.
Yeah, well, you want to describe what that looks like?
It's a taparrabos. That's a skirt and shirtless, and
yeah.
And Andy Serkis is an English actor, by the way.
Thank you for giving me. Well, what Juan was so delicately trying to say is that, they are kind of, and here's the thing: the shots they show of like the Atlantean people are beautiful shots. He is basically Aquaman of Marvel. His mother is from the surface, from Earth, And they're both from Earth. That's a stupid thing to say. I warned myself. His mother is from the surface, and his father is from Atlantis. And he, for some reason, has wings on his feet because he's also a mutant. So not only does he have
that honestly should be the biggest offense right there. I mean, it's really comic book accurate, but it looks stupid in the comic books. So
it doesn't make sense. My entire and I don't know much about Namor, but like, why the fuck do he have wings on his ankles? I have no fucking clue. Like he doesn't even have super speed.
It's the original Jordan.
Shut the fuck up.
God damn it. Brooke Shields, is that you? But yeah, so yes, he's Namor, and his the Atlanteans are portrayed as like these Aztec Inca like get-ups. They have these beautiful floral looking headdresses that look, they have feathers, they have all this stuff. But the controversy is that the African American community is like, well, why do you have to why do we have to share our stage? This is ours. Why can't we have our own thing?
I think you said it in a meaner way earlier. Why don't you repeat what you said?
Please Please tell me exactly what I said, Juan.
No, I'm not going to fall for that trap. You either say it or I won't say it.
I think what you're referring to is that, the one culture is saying, hey, you already have your Coco. Why don't you let us have our Black Panther? And again, because representation in media is hard to come by. It doesn't come very often, and I think everyone on this call can attribute to that, can speak to that. So let me ask you, Jay, because I think you actually watched the trailer. Do you feel that this anger is warranted? Do you feel like it's that it should even be in the conversation?
It's really sad that this is a topic of conversation, because
I agree.
Like representation in Hollywood, it's really hard to come by. It's basically just white people, Black people, Latin people, and Indians, and like no other races is really represented as much as those groups of people, and the LGBTQ community is, and for them to be up in arms about sharing a movie. It's insane, like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I found it when I heard, because if I'm being honest, like I grew up in LA, and my core demographic that I interacted with was Hispanic kids. Like that's just either another Black kid or Hispanic kid. White people were like, they were a rare sight. If you saw them, something was wrong, or the police were there. That is like the fact of the matter. So the fact that like this is even part of the conversation, I find it very sad, because like why can't we lift each other up? I mean, why can't we both have representation that is equally as important to both of us? And so Juan, I will ask you, as someone who probably won't even see this movie until it's on Disney Plus 45 days after it's released. And again, I don't know, but do you think that they will get the cultural historic links right? Do you think that they're going to do like yourself justice? Because what I want you to remember before you answer this, Juan, is that Wakanda is a fictional place that exists in Africa, that probably culturally kind of takes a lot of its different things that we see on screen from multiple different cultures that exist in Africa, but the Aztec, Inca, of what I feel like I'm getting that wrong. That's a very specific history, a very specific look, a very specific feel. So do you think that they'll do that level of culture justice? I realize it's not food, so you probably care a little bit more.
Here's the thing. Each culture that you named has very distinct things. I think that's the same thing that your bar. To me, it's kind of like what you just said. Wakanda is borrowing a little bit from different parts of Africa to create this made-up culture. I think this one is taking the same exact thing, because saying that the Incas, which is not Mexican, that's more, I think, South Central America, Aztecs, Mayan,
that's where
Olmecas are.
What?
Olmecas is another Hispanic culture.
Oh, look at me. I'm being educated.
In fact, Olmecas is the ones that had the big giant head carvings. Mayans is I think they also had like calendar and a numeric system. And Aztecs they have the calendar, and then they were known as being warriors. In fact, some can say that they were somewhat savages because they were a conquering culture. But it's borrowing the same exact thing. And to be honest, when I saw the trailer, it didn't like ring like true to me. It didn't ring like, oh, they're stealing from my culture. Again, I was oblivious to it. I was like, why are people up in arms about this shit?
It's because they have bigger fish.
Yet again, I'm not as woke, or I'm not as triggered as some of the younger folk. I guarantee you that some teeny boppers out there that haven't even been to fucking Mexico, they probably just took a Chicano studies class, are more up in arms about this than I am. And I've actually lived in Mexico.
Are you?
So you know firsthand what name
Mexican?
You know firsthand why those little wings exist on his ankles. So yeah, I feel like, again, the conversation only exists because I don't know. I feel like the fact that there's a level of selfishness that exists around this is kind of crazy. But the other side of that is also that, like, there are very few Hispanic superheroes like that exist even in the Marvel universe. And I saw a list earlier from a guy who was Puerto Rican. It was on YouTube. His name is
Jose.
His name is Aris Quiones. He's a guy from Variant Comics on YouTube. But he gave his list. Yeah, he gave a list of, like, his top 5 Hispanic superheroes, and the number 1 among them was Miles Morales. Number two was, oh my god, I can't remember the name is, but it's Spider-Man 2099, which I don't know if you guys know, but
Miguel. I forget.
Yeah. Then he talks about a few others who I can't remember off the top of my head right now because I don't have the list in front of me. But my point being is that the representation is not a very shallow pool, and just like Black Panther is probably the most prominent Black character in the Marvel universe, and there are others. There's Giant Man and other people whose name doesn't come immediately to mind. But do you think that media in general is giving enough representation for everybody?
It's hard to make a cultural superhero, like based on a culture, because it'll come off as racist,
Yeah, I agree.
Like the superheroes that are of like ethnic descent, like Miles Morales, he's not like steeped in his culture. He just happens to be ethnic and a superhero.
Yeah. He's like second generation, like, what I mean? And he's more city. He's more like, city urban kid than he is like Puerto Rican kid.
Yeah. And with Namor, I don't think that he's like any like Aztec representation or anything. Cause he's like in the comics, he's just this white dude with like really weird eyebrows and wings on his feet. And
yeah, that's true. I think the addition of that, I honestly feel like the addition of that in the MCU was a way for them to try and give themselves a little more culture altogether, and I think like, I think to your point, Jay, it's like, getting representation in media is very, very difficult. I think
which I think sometimes is sad because they only do it to kind of sell more tickets.
Yeah. It's and I almost feel like some movies suffer from it. Like it's I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch this movie on Netflix called Sea Beast.
Is that the animated film that we try to show one movie night with the kids? Yeah.
But every character in there is from like there's like black and white and Irish. It's just like there's lots of different ethnicities in there, visual ethnicities in there. However, they all sound English and like pirates. You know what I mean? So it's like it almost doesn't matter. Like they just look that way because they needed to add some color to their palette, but like they aren't really. They have no individual, unique like culture.
Yeah, I can't stand when they do. They just like shoehorn like just people with no like depth to them. They're just ethnic, or they're just they're the gay character, or they're the woman, you know, like there's no depth to them. They're just like there.
Yeah, and so and and the other thing about the representation in Hollywood is that you remember the kid from Indiana Jones or from the Goonies,
Short Round.
What? Yeah, Short Round or oh my God, from what's his name in Goonies? Jay, he's the technology guy. Data. Yeah, he's in the A24 movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, and he had like basically retired from acting because there weren't a lot of roles for Asian people, and then he saw Shang-Chi and he was like, hey, you tell me I could have been in this movie, and then he found out they were doing this A24 movie and he's like, oh shit, yeah, I'll come back to do acting for that. You know what I mean? And so like to think that like this kid, you saw him as like a 8, 9, maybe 10-year-old kid. And then for him to be like a nearly 40, 50-year-old man to come back to acting, like the gap in that, the disparity in that is like, oh my fucking God, like there's not enough representation because like how many movies that that focus on Asian characters that are cast Asian people exist? Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like growing up, I never saw a lot of Filipinos in movies or television. The only Filipino I ever saw was Ernie Reyes Jr. in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 movie, and he played Kino. And
he also played Donatello.
I think in the first he was in the suit, but they didn't see his face, so you didn't know he was Filipino. So, and like I tried to explain to people who Ernie Reyes Jr. was. They had no idea who he was,
I know. Yeah. I know. He's Surf Ninja, man. I know who that guy is.
Yeah. You either have to be like a really, like a nerd or like a, like a Filipino nerd like myself that's like, that's like excited. You get excited because you see someone.
Yeah. You have to be a nerd or looking for representation as part of your community to know that, hey, this guy's a Filipino actor. Which I didn't know he was Filipino, if I'm being honest, but I do know who he is because I fucking love him in Surf Ninjas and I love him as Kino and Secret of the Ooze. So, and I have no idea what he did after that, if I'm being 100% honest.
Since we're talking about culture and Filipino, I went to Eagle Rock, the Eagle Rock Mall, which is turned into a primarily Filipino cultured infused shopping center. And I saw a sign where it said Filipino X sponsored products sold here. So is it not Filipino anymore? Have they gone the route of Latinx and now it's Filipino X?
Who are you asking?
You guys in general.
I don't know.
Well,
are you asking me? Because I'll tell you right now.
What about you, Jay? Aren't you like part of that culture?
Yeah, I didn't even know about Latinx until like maybe a year ago. So it's like, I honestly, I don't care.
I was just surprised about it.
The thing is, it's kind of racist for you to assume that I would be keeping up with that type of news.
That is pretty fucking racist, bro.
I'm not. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're absolutely right.
You're not what?
Right. I apologize for being insensitive to your needs.
My needs?
I don't think he needs. I think it's nice. I think it's nice that Juan. I find it nice that you thought, dude. I'm looking at this list of $1 billion Marvel films, and this is off subject. I'm just going to Juan myself right now. But Captain Marvel worldwide is in the $1 billion club. You guys know that?
Yeah, because it was a big commercial for the Air Force.
Yeah, sorry, I'm focused again. But yeah, man, I find it to be, I don't know. I think the question of representation in media, I was just talking to my wife about this not that long ago, is that like, I mean, how many more movies do you have to come out before you feel like the representation wheel is even? Like if there is a like a Coco or a Soul or a Mulan that or even Aladdin that comes out every single year. I mean, how many more movies do you have to make up before everyone goes, you know what, there's enough representation?
I wish it was more organic, like I wish like, the representation was more organic instead of just like, here, this is you guys. And here, this is you guys.
Yeah, and I agree, and I feel like, I feel like it's hard. I feel like it's hard to have that happen organically because there's always like cancel culture, and there's always somebody in the room going, "Are we sure we're representing everybody?" And that's how, like and this is gonna probably sound horrible when I say it, but I don't mean it this way. But it's one of those things where like where every TV character was like either in a interracial relationship or they were in a homosexual relationship, right? Like they just to meet the diversity scales, like, hey, not only are they gonna be, and part of this community, they're also part of this other community. So this way we have representation, and it's just like, well, now it's just shoehorned in there, and it's not as organic as like as I should feel it should be.
I love the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, but when I first saw it, I was like, oh, he likes black women, that's that's not like that shouldn't be the thought, it's just like it just felt forced, like we should have him date a like an ethnic person or a black woman, and it's just like, because you just go, oh, this is what's he likes black women, and then you're like, you can move on with the movie instead of just like, they if they just casted like a black actor with, and he was dating a black actress, it wouldn't have been an issue,
Yeah, and it reminds me of the controversy around the Little Mermaid, the live action remake.
Yeah.
Like the cast photo came out, and they have I want to say that did they change the? Oh no, am I missing something here? Did they change the cast photo? There was like supposed to be this black girl that played.
You're talking about the ABC TV special where John Stamos played the chef. And there was a black girl that played Ariel, and there was some controversy. And I think Queen Latifah played Ursula, correct?
Oh, so yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the wrong one. It's
the ABC live musical event. Not that I would know.
It's okay, man. We know what's up. Yeah, well, anyway, the cast photo came out, and obviously, the internet is kind of set ablaze. There's some notable people in it, Javier Bardem is in it. Devine Diggs. He's if you recognize him from what was Hamilton. Hamilton, and Awkwafina's in it. Even with black scent and all, she gets to be in it. She's that seagull. She's gonna play that seagull.
Scuttle.
Yes.
Melissa McCarthy is playing. Yeah, Melissa McCarthy is playing Ursula. Ursula in this
which one are you talking about? We're
Jacob,
not talking about the same one. I mentioned the TV show one. So which one was people up in arms about?
I'm talking the movie, the live action remake. The live action remake.
They were up in arms about that one?
About the casting, yeah.
About the fact that they cast this black girl. Her name is Halle Bailey, black girl, as Ariel. So the photo has her here with like red hair and the little here. I'll share my screen so you guys can see, and then we can.
So who played Ariel in the ABC live one?
It looks like the girl from Moana.
Yeah, that's correct. So this is the one that caused controversy. Okay.
Yeah. This girl here. But anyway, representation in Hollywood. Try to get it in there, and there's some people who just don't want that to happen. So my
question is, do you think she was cast because they want representation and more of a diverse background, or because she nailed the fucking audition?
I think it's a combination of A and B. I think as a company, you want to make sure that your mind is forward facing, and you are doing justice to make sure that you are mindful of that, because it is important for companies to be mindful of that, because if they aren't, they can absolutely be portrayed as companies who are not on the forefront of diversity, and you don't want that, right? Like I would assume that Disney doesn't want that. The other part of this is that, there's another school of thought where people are like, no, The Little Mermaid is this is what it needs to look like. This is what it needs to sound like. And if it doesn't, I'm going to boycott it. I'm going to cancel it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some casting that, it makes sense that you can change the ethnicity. Like Perry White in the Man of Steel movies, they cast Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. And, it makes sense, No one knew. No one really cares about Perry White ethnicity. He's just a gruff older guy. And any guy, older guy can play that part. It's there's just casting that like it's hard to change the ethnicity for, like characters that are stuck in your mind, like James Bond, like 007. People are up in arms about Idris Elba playing 007.
Yeah.
Who?
It's the same thing with Idris Elba. Heimdall. Heimdall, the sexiest black man ever. He's also a DJ.
You don't know Idris Elba?
No.
Hey. Ask your wife who Idris Elba is.
Oh, she'll know.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'll know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and another person that comes to mind that you can't change ethnicities. In fact, the very fact that Miles Morales exists is because they didn't want to just have a black Peter Parker, because that I feel like it takes away from the representation part of it, because it's like, oh, she's just a black Spider-Man,
Yeah,
and
it's just
they have to kind of almost give him a unique identity all of
yeah, that's where it seems forced, when you just like just color swap, palette swapping, I guess,
Yeah, it's and the same thing with Superman. Like I would like, just give me another Kryptonian character that happens to be black. Don't take Kal-El of Krypton and make him a black guy, because I feel like, go ahead,
Superman is a perfect example how people got their panties in a bunch, because when Harvey, what's his name, the guy that played him last,
Henry Cavill.
Thank you.
Wasn't Harvey.
Where is he from?
Harvey Weinstein played him. He's a British. He's a British actor.
Remember when he was originally cast? How people were up in arms because
I do.
Superman was as American as apple pie, and having a Brit play him was not what represented Superman. And now, how many people see him as Superman and get upset of him being recast? You be one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, Henry Cavill is a white guy.
Yeah, chief among all those things, he is a black-haired, blue-eyed white man. Yes, he's English and he's not American, but the fact is that they taught him how to speak in an American accent. That blew over very quickly. If they were like, "Hey, Idris Elba, you're going to be Superman in the next movie," let me just tell you how many. Even the fandom, even the nerd fandom, would be up in arms about it. Like, no, you can't just make him black. That's not. Why don't they just do a Steel movie, or give him, some obscure character, Elseworld story of Superman, but not Kal-El, because that's not just not how it goes. Just not how it goes. But it is what it is. I think. My last question about the Black Panther trailer to you guys is, do you think by the time this movie shows up in theaters that people will spend more time kind of like letting it pay homage to Chadwick Bosemarker?
Chadwick Bosemarker.
Charizard, dinosaur hunter. Do you think they'll spend more time paying respect to Chadwick Boseman and kind of letting them put that memory to rest and to enjoy the film and kind of let all this other stuff go? Or do you think you think this is not the last that we've heard of it?
Dude, honestly, when I first saw the Black Panther trailer and you hear "No Woman, No Cry," you think of Chadwick Boseman. You just think of how it almost made me tear up, because you miss him and you want him to be in this sequel, but he's not around. And I think his presence of where, he should be in this movie, or where his place is in this movie is just gonna be the through line.
Yeah. Yeah, I have one more question to ask, but Juan was going to say something, so I will let him speak his mind, then I will ask my last question.
I was just going to say, unfortunately, I don't think people are going to forget about it. It may quiet down for a bit, and as it gets closer, people are going to be upset again. And then there's going to be other people that don't give a rat's ass.
Well, I mean, depending how well the movie is, I think if it's a really good movie, I think they're like, well, I don't care. It's a good movie. But if it sucks, then they're going to just pick apart everything they hate about it.
It's true. Fuck this movie. My last question before we move on, which is, do you think they should have recast Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa.
No. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Juan, how about you? I mean, choose Wick Schumacher. Do you think they should have?
Yeah.
The thing is, it's not unheard of to recast somebody after they've passed. However, I feel like nowadays it happens less and less. Like once an actor portrays a certain character, he dies or she dies, they just write off the character or change the storyline in respect of them, and then wait until they restart a series to recast them. So from the old school standpoint, I say they should have recast it and moved on. But from the new belief of they should honor him because he was a badass fucking Black Panther and he did a lot for that cinematic universe. I respect and understand why they're not recasting him.
I mean, it wouldn't be smart on a financial level for them to recast, his character. Yeah, because nobody's gonna go watch. It's not like with Don Cheadle and Rhodey. Like.
Yeah. I am. So if hot take, I'm of the mind that they could have recast him, depending on how they played the second movie. But it seems like they're playing the route of like he died in battle, something going on. They may even very well go like, hey man, he suffered. He was fighting an illness the entire time. The heart rate herb couldn't help him. Whatever the case may be. But I would have been okay with a recast, and for the only reason because now the mantle of it is going to have the Heath Ledger Joker thing going on. It's like, well, it doesn't matter who the Joker is after this because it's not going to be as good as Heath Ledger.
Even before that, how many people were up in arms with Heath getting casted because nobody was going to be as good as Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, but this is different. They're not recasting the character. They're just having one of the other characters take up the mantle. Oh yeah. I mean, it's different.
Well, I mean, and I think, first off, I think they aren't recasting the character. They are saying because the Black Panther is a separate title from the character of T'Challa. It is something that T'Challa did as a stint of the King of Wakanda, but is not necessarily something that are mutually exclusive. So I have questions about how they're going to make that happen, considering that fucking Killmonger was like, "Fuck these herbs, burn them all." But whatever. But anyway, I mean, it sounds like so Jay. Don't recast. Juan and I are assholes and want to recast. I just, I want the opportunity to see someone else kind of shine and carry that mantle because I don't want it to feel. I just don't want it to get locked down into Chadwick's memory and the representation to end with him. And not to say that that some other person can't carry this franchise because he's a very charismatic actor. But it's like, who is the next person who's going to carry that? Is it Letitia Wright? Is it Lupita Nyong'o? Is it and I can't think of her name, but is it Michonne from The Walking Dead? Like, is it Okoye? And that's not her name in the thing. I don't know her real name now in hindsight.
Would you have been opposed to CGI?
Hell yeah!
I think that would have been. I think that would have been worse.
That's awful.
Yeah, I think they got away with it in Ghostbusters Afterlife, but I don't think that would have been the right call for this. But anyway, we can argue about this all night, I think. But what we can argue about now, that's what the movie's called, Juan. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. But now what we can argue about as we come to the end of the show is the gauntlet. Juan, are you ready for the gauntlet this evening? Well, for those of us playing along at home, Juan is still at 4 points. He's holding up the tail end. Thank you, Juan. Appreciate that. Juan, hopefully you'll you know what? Take some 5 seconders tonight. Get yourself some pity points. But I think at this point you're out of the race, if I'm being honest. You're playing because you like to have fun. However, Jay holding a dangerous spot in second place with 14 points. So if I screw the pooch tonight, we're tied again, and fuck that noise. And then I have the lead and probably what is my only opportunity to win a fucking gauntlet ever with 17 points. So with that said, Juan, yesterday you forfeited the opportunity to go first or to go before someone else. Do you want to take that opportunity this evening?
Just go because does Dallas already cap it? Well, just go, fucker. Go.
Juan, as you like to say, you can still play for your dignity.
I'm going for the dignity point. Yeah, I am. So, but go fucker.
4 points is below dignity.
Well, I was trying to give him
anybody under 5 foot is below dignity.
Well, Jay, that puts it on you.
What was that, Sean? I didn't hear you.
Well, since Juan's done interrupting, I think. Well, that puts it on you, Jay. If you'd like to go, would you like to go? And I'm bringing up the show notes now, not the show notes, the Gauntlet folder on my phone, so we can play it. What we got left is between track 11 and 59. 59.
I'll do 11.
I'll do 11. All right. 11, 1 second, 3 seconds, or 5 seconds.
3 seconds.
All right, here we go. You ready, Juan? You listening? All right. Let me just make sure my audio is up. Right. Here it goes. Track 11 for 3 seconds. Here it is right now. Oh, I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that is. Listen to it again or extend the length.
Let's do 5 seconds.
All right. Here we go. 5 seconds coming in right now.
Oh, that was worse.
That didn't help at all. Damn you, Ozzy. But I think.
Why are you guessing?
I think I have an idea.
Jay, fuck you. Wait until Jay does it. No,
I'm guessing. I'm guessing it's still the point,
let
bro.
Jay go first, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not you. I don't yell the answer.
Motherfucker. I don't know. Pride and Prejudice.
I'm tempted to agree with you, Jay. I'm tempted to agree.
I disagree. I think it's Amadeus.
Amadeus.
You know what? It could be. It could be. You know what, Juan? Just because you said I'm going to disagree and I'm going to agree with you, so that if you're right, we both get points.
Well, I'm wrong.
A fucking valuable lesson. I disagree with you, Jay. I think that it's Amadeus, and here is the answer.
There's Dallas, the classical.
It is Lord of the Rings.
Wow. Really?
The answer is Lord of the Rings.
Ozzy.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that movie. Jeez, I don't think I even know where that's from in the movie, if I'm being honest.
I haven't actually watched any of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Really? That's more shocking than not knowing this song. I've not even once, not even like in theater or like at home.
They were just too long, and I just didn't want to sit through it.
But yet you sit through the entire MCU.
Well, that's okay. Get out, Juan.
Yeah, Juan, get out.
Get out. Well, the MCU is 22.
Okay, you put on your fucking point. Just next, motherfucker.
Why are you so angry? Why are you so fucking angry?
Get off his ass, Sean.
Just zit. I'm sorry. All right, Juan, you normally pick my number for me, and that's had the best luck for me. So what you got between 12 and 59? What's going on?
Let's go with 23.
Oh, lucky number 23. Oh, we've already used 23.
With 59.
Thanks, man. All right, 59, and I'm going to go for 3 seconds. 59, 3 seconds, and here we go. Oh, I think that's Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm going to go with Spider-Man. Like the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. That's what I think that is. Yeah.
I disagree. I think it's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
I disagree and say it's Batman.
That's a better answer than mine. I feel like that could be it too. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'm sticking with my answer. All right, here we go. And the answer is Spider-Man 2002. Spider-Man 2002.
Rig.
And
damn that Danny Elfman.
That's hold on, Juan. The thing is, I heard it before we came up. I'm gonna play the 5-second track, Juan, just so you know. Is that you don't remember that, Juan?
I barely remember yesterday, Sean. You expect me to remember a movie that came out 20 years ago?
You barely remember.
It's the ADD, man.
That movie didn't come out 20 years ago. Oh my fucking God. Yes, it did. Oh shit. I feel super old.
You said it 2002, right? And we're in 2022, right? So do the math, dumb fuck.
Yes. I did the math live on air, and I realized I was older than I thought I was.
Dumb fuck.
You old.
Well, Juan, that means it's on you, sir.
58.
So You want to do 58, huh? 58 all at once. Do you think you'll choke?
3 seconds.
What you want to do 58 for 3 seconds? Again, I asked, do you think you'll choke if you did that?
Just play the music now.
All right. Number 58 for 3 seconds. Here it is.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Here it is.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Jay, do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
I mean,
At this point, it could be any fucking Western parody.
it could be, but I want to say that it's
The
inner
Django.
space. I want to disagree and say that it's inner space.
I would have gone with a fistful of dollars.
Oh, I've never seen a fistful of dollars, so that could be right. But all right, it could be any Western. It could be inner Western at this point. But I'm gonna go with inner space only because I had a cowboy in that movie.
Oh yeah, the cowboy.
Yeah. Yeah. So Juan, I disagree with you, and I say that it's inner space, even though I know that it's fucking wrong. All right, are you ready for the answer? All right, here it goes. The answer is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Bitches. That brings me up to how many points, Sean? 7?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Look at you. Well,
And I get points too.
No, you don't. You don't. No.
Why?
We discussed this.
agreed with you.
No.
I agreed with you.
No.
I know, Jay. I get the points because I disagreed and I got it wrong.
I don't understand how this game works.
Nobody does. That's why Sean is winning. He's giving us fucking magical beans, and we're waiting for the beanstalk to fucking grow.
What?
Well, Juan, congratulations on cheating your way into 7 points. Jay, you're still at 14 points, and I now have 20 points. So I'm in the lead. I just got to hold on for at least one more episode. No, to the next episode, and then we'll have a winner. I think I'll be done, right? I don't remember how this works. But thank you very much. And then Juan, now that the gauntlet's over, we're done fighting. You know what that means, right? And now, for a minute of complete and utter nonsense. You've been warned.
I have an issue with people that decide to honk or be rude to you.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is your problem, Jay? Do you want a minute of your own nonsense, motherfucker? What is your problem?
No, finish.
No.
Finish your
What
minute,
is
dude.
your problem?
No, I just want to hear how petty this is going to be.
No, it's not. You know what? Fuck you. You're the one that's rolling your fucking. Oh my God. No, screw you. What's the problem? What?
You're mad that people honk at you?
No, I'm mad about people honking and then being stupid enough to park their fucking vehicle next to me and make it even awkward. Because they fucking honked over the stupidest shit. Like, people are crossing. What do you want me to do? Run over the person?
And that was a minute of nonsense. Thank you. Now back to our regularly
Dumb
scheduled
motherfucker.
program.
How petty is that?
It was pretty fucking petty, dude.
Juan, I want a minute of Sean sense.
No, you don't get
You know
a
what I
minute
hate?
of shit. Just move on and end the show already. It's past my bedtime.
You know what I hate? This is your fault, by the way. But you know what I hate? I hate when the sun goes down and then that motherfucker has the audacity to come up 12 hours later. Fuck that guy.
No, I
know what I
really do
hate?
get bothered that it is a corner. People are crossing illegally because we have the right of way because I have the green light, and the fucking car behind me is blaring their fucking horn like they can't see the dumb fucks crossing. And then they had the guts to go, green means go, motherfucker. And I go, yes, but there's people in front of me. Am I really expected to run them over? Fucking asshole.
You know what I hate? When I get hungry and then, I don't have food to eat and it just...
You guys have a good night. Fuck you. Bye.
Juan, you know what?
You're still
You know what I hate?
That's because I can't figure out my computer.
You know what really grinds my gears, Juan? Juan, you know what really grinds my gears? When it's night out and the street lights come on and then the sun comes out and then the street lights go off. It just pisses me off.
You know what I hate? You know what boils my buns? Potatoes. I hate potatoes.
I hate how versatile they are.
Oh,
They are pretty versatile. You can get electricity from them.
I hate those dirty
Jesus
spuds.
I hate those ground beans. I hate
Okay, are
them.
you done? I'm fucking done.
You
Just
done?
end the show. It's past my bedtime. I need to upload the audio after this.
All right. Well, Juan,
Sleep with your
it definitely
doors
sounds
closed,
like you're done
assholes.
on this episode.
Sleep with your doors closed.
What? Sleep with your doors closed and your mouth closed because
You know what I
hate?
hate? I hate the boogeyman.
Why are you making me sound like fucking Bill Cosby?
Well, I mean, you did violate Sean in his sleep.
Yeah, and you told me to sleep with my door closed.
Are you done?
So anyway, Juan, I'm glad that you're done. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I mean, do you think that there's enough representation in Hollywood? Do you think that Shakira is going to get 8 years in prison? And I mean, honestly, do you think that Will Smith should have even apologized? Was it a waste of time or a media publicity stunt? Tell us. We want to know. Juan, tell them where it grinds your
You're
gears,
wrong.
man.
Oh, I hate it.
I fucking hate it. Every time I try to do the outro, they make fun of me. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Folks, don't forget to like and subscribe us. Folks, don't forget to like and subscribe us. That's it. Fuck! Folks, don't forget to like and subscribe to us anywhere where you get your podcasts. We're on iTunes, Amazon, everything. Also, find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Our handle is at INCYC Show. Again, it's at INCYC Show. You can email us some of your suggestions at INCYCShow@gmail.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail because we love those. Just follow the link or go to www.anchor.fm/INCYC Show. And we also have merch in partnership with lindamyra.com. Again, that is lindamyra.com. Get your very own I'm Not Crying, You're Crying shirt. Just follow the link in our show notes because somebody has to read them so Sean feels fulfilled. And if you don't want to buy the shirt because it's been sitting on the shelf for so long, they have other cool stuff. Thank you, guys.
You know what really grinds my gears? Fuck you. Oh, sweet Jesus. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening. See you next week.
Good night, everybody. I hate when people don't say goodbye.
Just fucking end the show already. What?
You know what I hate, Juan?